perception from the general public in our community that criminals are being released too early. Can you address that perception?
Well, that may have been the case about the early 90s when we had a prison crisis. It seems like there was a revolving door going on at the time. But since then, the legislature has responded by providing more penal facilities. And so now, when a person goes to prison, that person is doing closer to real time than before. Now, there are limits. There are laws that provide for parole at certain stages, but for the most part, most persons going to prison right now are there for longer periods of time than when it was back in the early 90s when we had those problems and those issues and made sentencing a joke. And that's what it was. That's what it seemed like. But not anymore. When a person goes to prison on a set time, that person is likely to be there for a longer period of time.
10 seconds.
Thank you, John.
Same question for you. There's a perception from general public that the community is, that criminals are being released too early. What do you think about the perception?
Well, I want to bring it to a local level. When we talk about judges, what they do is they can impose sentences or judgments that will confine someone into TDC or a state jail facility, or even locally here into our jails in the Nueces County Jail. And what I can tell you is that, number one, yes, I understand that it costs you about $61 a day to house an inmate. But what I will also tell you is that whether or not a jail is overcrowded, if that person belongs there, that person belongs there. And while that is the perception that criminals may not be incarcerated like they should be, I will be cognizant of what it costs you as a taxpayer for us to house an inmate. But what I will tell you is if that person belongs in jail for the crime they have committed, be it a theft, be it a burglary, be it a drug case, they're going to have to go and they're going to have to
10
sit
seconds.
and they're going to have to be accountable for what they've done.